It's amazing the number of people who do the length of the Ohio River. Good morning. Where are you heading to? Kentucky Lake. Well, good winds. So this is the community boathouse dock that's used by anybody who wants to launch a paddlecraft or rowing shell. Let's head on downstream. So you can sort of see the Big Four Bridge, and then you have the Interstate Bridge and the new Interstate Bridge, and then the 2nd Street Bridge, and way down below is the railroad bridge. And that railroad bridge is built on top of the McAlpin Dam. People's perception that it is dangerous is accurate, but that danger can be very easily dealt with. If you're careful, if you approach the river with caution, it's a very safe place to recreate. If an individual or a family really wants to become prepared to explore the Ohio River, it takes experience and training. One of the best strategies is to walk along the river and to observe what the weather conditions are and what the resulting river is. How much wind does it really take to kick up waves? How fast is the current flowing? And the challenge is to remember those observations. A third piece is equipment. Having the life jackets that are in good shape and worn, having hats on with the sun, having pants so you don't get sunburnt, water in the boat so you don't get too hot. So all of these basic pieces of equipment are mandatory every time you go out. Every single time you should be ready for immersion. And if you cannot self-rescue yourself, don't go out. This 2nd Street Bridge is the normal boundary for recreational boats. You're not supposed to go downstream of the 2nd Street Bridge unless if you are locking through. And the purpose of this restricted area is to keep people away from the McAlpin Dam. This was the most dangerous spot between Pittsburgh and New Orleans. That's why the Army Corps of Engineers actually came here to Louisville, was to help make it safer. You know, a fourth crucial avenue to stay safe on the river, and it's called the float plan. What a float plan does is it lets people know where you're going and how long you will be. So my wife knows exactly where I am. Yesterday, I called up the Army Corps of Engineers lockmaster and told them what we were planning on doing today. And so I'm informing people of my adventure. If for whatever reason we are late, then the authorities would have a good idea of where we are. So here is the entrance to the Portland Canal. You want to stay to the left here. If you look on the right-hand side, that's the dam. So you do not want to go on the right-hand side. You want to stay on the left-hand side here. And right about now, you have to check in with the folks who run the lock. Yes, this is David Wicks in a recreational canoe. There's 3 ways of doing that: marine radio, cell phones, or in person. Provide your location and your type of vessel and the purpose of your call. Wait and follow the directions that the lockmaster gives you. So when we come through here for the mayor's hike, bike, and paddle, they stop the traffic and we just paddle directly into the lock. So just imagine in the hike, bike, and paddle, we'll have 1,000 kayaks in here at one time. When you lock through, you have to have a life jacket on and zipped up. You have to be tied off to one of the floating bullocks, and you have to let people know you're here. The water is being drained out of the lock chamber by this series of pipes. We're going to drop a total of 35 feet. And you can sort of see how far we've dropped so far. The difference between the wet concrete and the dry concrete is pretty obvious. And that's how far we've dropped. It sounds like a whale, doesn't it? The sounds, right, are all created by how much water they're letting out. If you want to experience locking through, come on Labor Day and lock through on a day that's totally planned. So when we come on out here with the mayor's hike, bike, and paddle, we'll come straight down river to the New Albany JC's boat ramp. This is all downstream of the falls, so pioneers who came here would have had a big relaxation day because they made it through the fall. And they got back on the boats and floated on down to the Mississippi and New Orleans. This is the New Albany J.C.'s boat ramp. This is where the Mayor's Hike, Bike, and Paddle will finish. It's been a wonderful paddle going through the McAlpin Lock and Dam. If you want to participate in this, check out the Mayor's Hike, Bike, and Paddle, or check out rivercitypaddlesports.org.